world is pushing you in a direction that you don't really want to go. Or it's like the outside, I'll call it. The outside, right? Yet nobody is really forcing you or pushing you technically to do anything, but you still energetically, you feel that way. You feel like you're being, forced. And you're resistant to it. Why are you resistant to it? Well, it could come down to fear. It could definitely come down to fear, going outside our comfort zone. But it could also be that it's not in alignment to who you are, right? Sometimes we just don't want to do stuff that's not in line with us. And that's okay. So it's differentiating the two between fear of just going outside the comfort zone and two, what's not in alignment with you. How do you tell the difference? How do you tell the difference? Because it can be tricky. It can be very, very tricky. And I've experienced this and am experiencing, certain things in my life where it's like I'm feeling, pushed in the wrong direction from the outside, but at the same time, it might be fear. So how do I tell the difference between fear, what I'm feeling is fear, and what I'm feeling is my heart? So you have to really pay attention to where in your body you're feeling it, right? So if you're just feeling it in your head, then it's probably fear-based. If you're feeling yourself being overwhelmed by life, overwhelmed by decisions you need to make, or are you feeling it in more like your heart center, right? The body is telling you no. It's telling you no. So it's about tapping into your intuition, your inner GPS, and learning to differentiate ego from the heart, right? Because essentially, if you want to do something, you have these two guys match up, but the ego is always going to try and protect you and keep you in your comfort zone, right? That's just what it does. It's going to keep you in your comfort zone, and that's okay, We have to embrace that. We have to love ourselves. We have to love our brain because it's part of us, right? It's not us, it's part of us. You have to learn to sometimes lead from your body and not your brain. You know what I mean? Most people lead from their brain, and that's where we get overwhelmed, right? We think too much. Overthinkers. We live in a society of overthinkers. We overthink on everything. I mean, go to the store and go in a cereal aisle, and it's no wonder that we are all indecisive. We can't make decisions. We can't differentiate what our heart wants from what our head wants because we're always spending our time in our head, right? That's just where we are. We're just in our head and we're less in our body. So if you can get the two to connect more, if you can find that connection again, then that's going to be huge for you in making decisions in your life, right? And going with intuition. So sometimes it's about quieting your mind, all right? You can do this through meditations. You could do this just taking a walk outside, okay? Going out in nature for a few minutes. Trying to clear your head. Not resisting thoughts that are coming into the head, but just allowing stuff to come in. I like to call it ride the wave of what you're thinking, or ride the wave of your emotions, what you're feeling. You should never resist anything. See, we fear our emotions. We fear them. We're scared of them. We're scared of feeling anxious. We're scared of feeling depressed. We're scared of feeling afraid, right? We're scared. We're scared of our emotions. And, the more we can realize that emotions, while they can feel uncomfortable to us, they're not bad, Bad. We say, oh, anxiety, stress, depression, all these lower states are bad. Bad, evil. Therefore, we can't feel them, right? Well, just because they're lower on the emotional scale, right? Doesn't mean that we're not going to feel them. Doesn't mean that we shouldn't feel them, because we should. As human beings, we always have this influx. Yeah, we want to strive to always, feel better. Up on the ladder, right? Up on the emotional ladder. Feel love, joy, bliss, euphoria, right? All that stuff. But you have to understand that every day is not going to be peachy. Because we are human beings and we communicate with other human beings, obviously, and we have different things going on around us, right? It's not just us. If it was just us and we didn't have anything outside, I mean, technically nothing's outside of us. We're all one big universal consciousness, but that's for a whole other video. But not to make it too complex or make you think too hard. Think about it. Your day-to-day is not just you. You interact. You interact with objects. You interact with people. You interact with, I don't know, trees and animals and, we have our senses, right? We're limited in that way because we can only perceive so much. We can only perceive so much of what's actually going on. But, we also have these things called emotions. And the emotions are tied to memories because we have this thing called the brain. And the brain, it's just like the storage unit for crap, right? Good crap, bad crap, neutral crap, stuff. But usually, a certain memory gets kind of joined up with an emotion, right? Something from our past. We experience something from our past. And we have an emotion surrounding that event, right? How we were feeling when that event happened. So now we've kind of memorized emotions and we remember, so if something happened where, say we we got like a D on a test in second grade. The emotion behind that was a natural emotion of feeling unworthy or feeling just bad about ourselves, feeling embarrassed, right? That we got a D on a test or something, or an F, God forbid, right? So essentially, it's like our first experience with something. That initial emotion that we have, we kind of hold on to that, right? And through our adult life, we develop this idea that emotions are good or bad. And it's also society, right? We have textbooks of disorders and, medical stuff about what is wrong with people, right? These certain disorders. So if you have EDD or you have chronic anxiety or you have fibromyalgia, I can say it right, then essentially you're not perfect. Like you fit into this certain category, right, for yourself, and you're placed in this category. It's almost like we're placed into a box. So, we have a lot of emotions surrounding that stuff. So we're always being bombarded, not only from past memories, like our very first experience with something, but other people telling us or seeing other people's emotions around it, right? So somebody who is in a lot of pain, we see their pain, we feel their pain, right? On an empathetic level, we feel their pain. So if we experience something similar to that, then we're going to remember that emotion that person was having. And it's almost like our body goes into, we mirror them in a sense, right? Because we saw that guy had a lot of pain, or that person had fibromyalgia, or that person had chronic depression. And I can't feel like the opposite of that. I must feel pretty close on the emotional scale to those people, right? Because that's what's accepted. That is what is just kind of like ingrained in reality, right? Why would I feel happy being in pain? My body's not going to feel happy because all I know is that, pain and suffering and torture are bad emotions, the bad things to feel. Therefore, I'm going to feel emotions that are not very good tied to that because I don't want to feel them, right? So I'm going to strive to get better, to heal, so that I can feel better. So it's kind of twisted if you think about it, how much we are affected, our emotions are affected. Not only, our natural physiological reactions that we're having to a situation, but how it stems back from many years ago, right? Stems back to when we were kids and stuff happened. Stems back to when we saw somebody who was suffering, right? We remembered that. That got stored in our brain, right? And we said, okay, there's no way I would feel good about what they're going, and I'm going through the same thing. How can I feel good, right? How can I feel good? And part of it, our pain, pain just, it doesn't feel good in the body, right? It doesn't feel good. It's uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable. So we think that discomfort equals a negative thing. Yeah, of course, because it's abnormal. It's abnormal. We shouldn't feel pain. We shouldn't feel uncomfortable in life. That's what it comes down to, right? So I don't know where I'm going with this. It's just something to make you think a little bit about your emotions, why we fear them, because we do. We fear them. We're scared to feel things that are low state, right? We're scared because then it almost puts us in a category, right? It puts us in one of those categories, or it puts us in the same place as that person we saw who was really suffering, and it's not something that, it's something that didn't feel good to witness, didn't feel good internally, so it's something we don't want to experience ourselves. So on that note, have a great day, guys. Pay attention to your body, how you're feeling, okay? Not just the overwhelming thoughts going through your head, but where your heart is leading you, where your body is leading you. And remember that, when you're feeling certain things, it's not about resistance, or it's not about labeling them as good or bad. It's about taking a look and delving and realizing where they're coming from, right? And coming from, something you witnessed, or coming from something you saw, or you fitting yourself into this mold where you're almost having psychosomatic symptoms of stuff, because that can be a real thing too, where people have psychosomatic symptoms because they think that is what they are supposed to feel, because they're in that box, right? So that's a whole other thing. But anyway, have a great day, my friends, and I will see you on tomorrow's video. Love you all, and peace out.